Hello, this is Eric of Not BIOS Studio, and most of this video you're going to see Not BIOS tech and reviews because I forgot to change the background. Anyways, the point here is going to be pulling all the stops to get the best audio out of these devices without looking silly or anything like that. Because for instance, you might notice when I speak towards the microphone, just speaking right now, you're probably going to hear me blowing on the microphone. That's where this foam can improve things quite a bit. And the preamp is for a dynamic microphone. This is a dynamic microphone. It's not for a condenser type, but it already requires 48 volts phantom power. Now, this has the same gain level needed to get audio as the SM7B. In this particular case, I had the Scarlett 2i2, but the Vocaster 2 is so much louder, so much more gain. So that means you can avoid the hiss, especially when using this. Which one is better for your case? Well, we'll find out. What does a double the price microphone give you over this? We're going to find out, but I'll tell you right now, the sound is very hard to tell the difference in quality, but the silence, that'll be easy enough to tell difference in terms of silence. Of course, in part of this video, I'll be boosting by 20 decibels so you can hear it more clearly, but I'll also leave the silence as it is without boosting the audio between it any more than I was actually displaying my voice. Now let's get started. When it comes to these two different microphones, they have different aspects about them. The Audio-technica AT4040, beyond the fact it's about double the price of this one, and this one without the USB is like, what, $50 US cheaper? And this one has, well, XLR is the same, better audio on both microphones, so why pay $50 more if you go with an audio interface to get the best audio possible? Now, with a shock mount, with the SM7B foam added, even with a preamp added, such as this, it's still, what, $75 or so cheaper than this microphone. So part of this is going to be finding out which one actually sounds better, or if they sound the same to you, and which one might give you the best audio. This one is more realistic to your own tone voice, and this one's more likely to give you a bold tone, especially if you speak up close. But with a preamp, using a shock mount, it improves your audio greatly. A lot of people don't realize, oh, why am I getting the sound of like metal and all this vibration? Use a shock mount. Get rid of that. Use some sound panels against where you're speaking to if you need to, because you don't want your microphone facing where sound's going to bounce off the wall and come back to you. Speaking through an MV7 type microphone, well, you're going to get plosives pretty darn easy through the included foam. That's why I recommend using this SM7B microphone container here, this foam. Right now, we're listening to the audio of the Shure MV7X. How am I coming through up close and personal? This might be your setup for podcasting or maybe even YouTube. Maybe you want your mic right in your face, and the Shure MV7 needs the proper SM7B foam with the booster boosted 20 decibels. Now let's listen to the silence. So crank up your device, and then I'm going to switch to the non-booster audio that we just recorded. Now let's listen to the silence. Speaking without a preamp was definitely much quieter. Now let's go to the volume I was originally speaking when I recorded the silence, just to hear what you would actually hear on video if I was speaking and then had a moment of silence. Using a booster, at least connected this particular Dynamite DM1, had more noise than not having one. However, at a distance away, having this will be indispensable. If you had the Scarlett 2i2 Gen 3 or something like that, you may definitely want a preamp. I don't need a preamp for up close for this particular, the Vocaster 2. So let's get to the AT4040 and compare sound quality side by side right after that. Right now, you're listening to the Audio-technica AT4040. How am I coming through? So if you're doing YouTube or whatnot, how does that compare to what I just did with the Shure MV7? Normally, I glue this foam to the device, but I want to compare without the foams, because if you're talking a distance, you don't need a foam for plosives, and I don't have a foam on this microphone right now. Later on, I'll be adding this, but first, let's listen to the silence. Okay, now let's get this up close and personal. I'm going to be adding the foam to this because it looks nice, a lot better than these things that block your view and are kind of annoying in terms of look on the camera. So I'm going to use the foam. It doesn't block plosives as well as a good pop filter, but it's better than talking directly into the capsule. Now I'm tucking up close and personal with the AT4040. How am I coming through? How did it compare to the Shure MV7X in terms of audio up close? Well, you leave a comment below and I'll hear for myself. And I have to find out which mic will I be using in the future. Will it be the MV7X? Or will it be the Audio-technica AT4040 for future videos? Well, I don't know quite yet, because I've been using the AT4040, but when you pull all the stops, which one really is better? Now that it's up close and we have the audio interface turned down, it's connected to PC, of course. Now let's listen to the silence. Okay, so the point, of course, putting the silence part is to crank up your volume on your phone or your PC to hear the hiss, if there's any difference in hiss. Now, it is time to boost everything by 20 decibels on the silence. Let's do a comparison side by side of the silence up close between these two microphones, starting with the MV7X. Let's go to the volume I was originally speaking when I recorded the silence, just to hear what you would actually hear on video if I was speaking and then had a moment of silence. The audio you're hearing right now is with the Shure MV7X, just out of the scene right here. No foam on it because we don't need that for way down here. Now we're just out of the scene with the AT4040. How am I coming through? Does this sound better, or does the MV7X sound better? The tone of your voice will make the difference in terms of if you're going to use this mic or that microphone. Now we're up close and personal with my AT4040. How am I coming through? Let's take this foam off just to see the difference. And if I talk right directly in the mic, we're going to get some little bit of plosives happening when I breathe towards the capsule whatsoever. So you could use a pop filter. Of course, using a pop filter would block any of the breathing sounds towards this mic really effectively. But if you're live on camera, well, how does this look? This is a 4-inch pop filter. Most are 6 inches. And if you had a 6-inch pop filter, that is blocking a lot of your view. However, if you weren't on camera, this probably is a great way to talk on this microphone, as it would be on the MV7X if you're not on camera and just want to get rid of plosives quick and easy. This is a fabric type dual layer. And if you notice, I actually attached it from another microphone stand because I had a 6-inch and I didn't want a 6-inch. It looks not good at all. So I like this smaller size pop filter. Right now I'm using the MV7X, and this is the pop filter, but in terms of looks, we can see that this is taking better the space. This is only a 4-inch. A 6-inch would be a lot bigger, and it would be taking up a lot of space in my face. If you're live, I think a foam looks better, but you be the judge. Now I'm using the MV7X with just a foam wind muff, and how am I coming through? What do you think? Should you be using this or this? That'll be up to you. This is to find out what works best and how to get the best audio experience between these two microphones and find out what works best for you. Do you want to save a little bit of money and get this microphone, or do you want to get that other AT4040 and save a bit of money? Let's choose the other microphone and see how that works. AT4040, despite being a condenser mic, despite using phantom power, tends to be quieter self noise than the MV7X. So for quietness in your audio channel, AT4040, but sound overall, if that absolute silence doesn't matter, which one's better? You be the judge. And I hope you enjoyed this overview, basically, of testing the different microphones, showing you how I can improve them, not just simply a comparison directly only, but if you take all the stops, what can you do with your audio? Well, you saw it here. This is Eric of Not BIOS Studio. Thanks for watching and have yourselves a most wonderful day.